Hey everybody, thank you so much for visiting us here with Cooking with G Dubs, and I'm your host, G Dubs. And if you can, like and subscribe down below if you like the video, and tell a friend to tell a friend so everybody could join and learn how we could cook these good dishes very simply. All right, so what I'm going to cook for you today is another Italian dish called chicken Français, or as they say in French, chicken or Poulet Français. All right, so and the way we're going to do it is we're going to make nice thin slices of chicken breast and some chicken thighs, fry them up into a nice gravy and put it on a bed of rigatoni pasta. All right, so without further delay, let me introduce to you what we're working with. All right, what we have here is we have our butter substitute. So those who have to have low cholesterol in their diet, this is a really good it's called Earth Balance. You can get at your local grocery store, and it's a substitute for butter. Tastes just like it, but it's not butter and it won't give you high cholesterol. And here I have my Èpís, and if you'd like to know how I make this Èpís right here, you could check out my YouTube channel, and I have a video specifically for that, how to cook Èpís. All right, and then I have my eggs. I have 4 eggs. I have my flour. I have my breadcrumbs. And I have my chicken breast and thighs, skinless and boneless. And I have, of course, my bell peppers, and I have my orange, my yellow, and my red bell peppers. And then I also have some chopped up yellow onions, and I have some green peppers, okay? And what I also have here is some Himalayan sea salt, and I have some garlic powder, okay? And you'll see how I use that in a minute, all right? So, without further delay, let's get started. All right, so now as you see here, I have my skinless and boneless chicken breast. And what I'm gonna do here is, you see how big it is? What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it in half. And the way we're gonna do it, we're gonna lay it down flat, and then we're gonna slice it. But make sure that your knife is nice and sharp, okay? So it'll make it easier for you to slice this right down the middle, just like that. Oh, see, I got a little bit too excited, all right? All right, so that's the first one. Then we get my next one. Again, see here? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna slice it in half. Just lay it flat on your cutting board. Then you just slice it right in half. And it's gonna give you a really nice thin slice, so it kind of doubles the amount of chicken that you're gonna be working with. All right, here's my chicken thigh. And for the chicken thigh, it is kind of difficult to slice it in half. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut it into another piece like that. And we're gonna keep going. Here's another chicken breast. And what we're going to do is we're gonna slice it in half again. Just like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead on and do the rest of them, and then we'll be right back. All right, so now what I did was, after I sliced them in half, then what I did was I chopped them again in half. So it quadrupled the size. So now my chicken breasts are this size, see? And I cut them in half. So it'll allow you to allow the chicken breast to, to grow, and you have more to serve your family, all right? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it, we'll put it back in our bowl, and then we're gonna add our seasoning to it. All right, so then what we're gonna do is we'll take our Èpís, put it on, and then we're going to take our salt, but let me go wash my hands real quick. Okay, great. All right, so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna take some salt, and what I'm gonna put on here is approximately a half a tablespoon of salt, okay? Or you could salt it to taste, what best suits your needs, all right? Now we have it all seasoned, and we're going to mix it all together. Make sure that you get the seasonings all over your meat. And if you don't want to use the Èpís, you could season it with whatever seasonings that you have at home. But my recommendation is make you some Èpís, have it in your refrigerator, so that whatever you cook, whether it's chicken, beef, pork, fish, or whatever sides you make, you can always have the Èpís, and that'll help cut your cooking time in half, and you'll always have some fresh ingredients to add to your food. All right, so now what we're going to do now is we're going to beat our eggs, and then we're going to dip the chicken in the flour, eggs, breadcrumbs, and then we're going to put it on the skillet. All right, we'll be right back. All right, so now our chicken is seasoned, and now it's time for us to get it ready to be fried up real quick. All right, so what I'm gonna do first, take my chicken, dip it in the breadcrumbs, put it in the eggs, and then we put it in the breadcrumbs, okay? All right, now I have all of my chicken thighs and breasts all seasoned up, and this is optional here. I'm gonna pan sear it on top of the stove, but if you like, you can be able to put it in the oven. The chicken, you can put it in the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes, and it'll have a nice crust on the outside. Or you could be able to put it in the air fryer for 20 minutes, and then that way you don't have to use any oil. So you do have different options you can do for this step, all right? So take advantage of what best suits your needs. For me, for the sake of time, I'm gonna do it, pan sear it real quick, and then we're gonna make our gravy and all that kind of good stuff, all right? So what I have is, I have my, I'm using grapeseed oil, which is right here. And what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take about a half a tablespoon of some garlic. I'm gonna put it in my oil, all right? So that it'll give it a little flavor to the oil. And then I'm gonna let that saute a little bit. So we're gonna add a nice flavor to our oil. And then, once the oil gets nice and hot, then we're gonna put our chicken in. So I'm gonna give it about a couple of minutes, about a minute or so. And now I'm gonna go ahead on and put it in. So this is going to turn out really, really nicely. And you and your family are going to enjoy this. Again, it's called chicken Français, or Poulet Français. So I have this kind of like on high. I'm gonna fry this until it's brown on one side, then we're gonna flip it over. All right? So when I get ready to flip it, then I'll show you, and then we can move on to the next step. All right, now you see how it looks? It's nice and brown. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna take it out, and then we're gonna repeat the process again. And I put a napkin at the bottom to absorb some of the grease. So what this is enabling it to do is to sear on the outside and stay juicy on the inside. So cook time on this is probably, you want to gauge it, you know, depending on what you use and so forth. So it takes about probably 2 to 3 minutes on each side. All right, so we're gonna let this cook, and then we'll come right back to it. All right, now it's starting to caramelize. Looking real nice and pretty. See, look at that. And now what we're gonna do is, you remember we had some of our bell peppers. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead on and take some of our red bell peppers, throw that in there. And we're gonna take some of our green bell peppers, throw it in there too. So we can have some color. We'll let all this sweat together again. And then what we're going to do is, remember we had some of the flour. We had some flour left over. Our organic flour, we're going to take some of that and put it in here too. We're going to have all this all sweat together. And the amount of flour that I put in, 2 spoonfuls like this, which is the equivalent of probably like 4 tablespoons. Okay, go give this a minute. And then an ingredient that I forgot to tell you in the beginning is we have some white wine. This is Sauvignon Blanc. So I'm gonna put this in there and it's gonna give a really, really nice flavor. It's gonna take it up another notch. And I forgot my chicken broth. I'm gonna get some of that too, add it to it, and then we're gonna make our gravy. All right, so I'm not a drinker, so what I'm gonna do is put 1 of these small bottles that you get at your local grocery store. Put that in. And you can just smell it. It smells delicious. And once I put that in, it started to thicken up. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our chicken broth. You can use chicken broth or chicken stock, same thing. And that's how we're gonna make our gravy for our pasta. And then those of you who like it spicy, you could put a little bit of your habanero peppers in it, or you could put in the Haitian community, we use piment. So we could put that in there to give a little kick, or you could put a little cayenne pepper. Whatever you like to just jazz it up. Because again, you remember that you're cooking this for you and your family, so you could jazz it up any way you want. All right, so what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna add a little bit of some garlic powder and some salt. Garlic powder, add a little bit of salt, and then after a few minutes, let it all sweat together, and then we're going to check it for taste. All right. Good. Give it a minute, and we'll be right back. All right. So now, as you can see, my gravy is thickening up. It's really nice. Look at that. It's nice and thick. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do a taste test, but before I do that, let me put a little bit of the Èpís in there. Not much. Make sure we have all the flavor that we need in our dish. And the reason why I turned a little bit green is because I have a lot of cilantro and parsley in it, in the Èpís. All right, but if you wanna know how I did it, check out my YouTube channel, Cook It with G Dubs. I have it on my channel, how to make the Èpís. All right, now let's do a taste test real quick, see what it's talking about. Oh yeah, this is good. Just need a little bit of salt, just a little pinch. And that's it. And then what we're going to do now at this point is we're going to take our chicken and we're going to put it back in the gravy. And we're going to let it all cook together. And our chicken is going to be really, really tender. So once we have it like this, put all the chicken in, then what we're going to do is we're going to let this thing simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then after that, we will be ready to plate. All right, we'll be right back. All right, everybody, I am done. Now check this out. Doesn't that look delicious? This is my chicken Français or Poulet Français. All right, so let me let you know what it tastes like. And I have it on a bed of rigatoni pasta. Let's see what this is talking about. Let me get some of the pasta first with some of this gravy. It is delicious, truly delicious. Now let me dig into this chicken. See what this is talking about. Ooh, nice and tender. Oh my goodness. This is delicious. Wow. Awesome. Wow, this is great. I can't wait for you to try it. Cook it with G-Dubs. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like what you see, if you've tried it, try this recipe, and you provided it for your family and yourself, let me know in the comment section down below. I know you will love it. It's a great dish. It takes a little while to cook, but you will definitely really appreciate the payoff at the end. All right, again, thank you so much for checking me out. Cook it with G-Dubs. Until the next video, peace.